It is 11 o'clock at night. You walk into your kitchen to get a glass of water and you flip the light on. And there they are. 2 on the counter near the bread box. 1 on the floor by the trash can. Another one climbing the inside of the cabinet where you keep the cereal. Cockroaches. They scatter the moment the light hits them. Flat brown bodies disappearing into the crack behind the stove, under the dishwasher, gone in less than 2 seconds. You stand there in your bare feet, and you know what you just saw is only the beginning. My grandmother dealt with cockroaches every summer in her farmhouse kitchen. She never once called an exterminator. She never once bought a can of spray. She had a method that cost her almost nothing, and by September, the kitchen was clean and quiet. You have sprayed. You have set traps. You spent $40 at the hardware store on cans that promise fast kill and lasting protection. 4 weeks later, they are still there. Because those cans of spray kill the ones you can see, they do not touch the ones you cannot see. And the ones you cannot see outnumber the ones you can see by 50 to 1. Here is the remedy. 2 tablespoons of boric acid powder, half a cup of white sugar, the grated peel of 1 lemon, and a sheet of aluminium foil from your kitchen drawer. You mix the dry ingredients, fold them into a small foil packet, and poke 5 or 6 holes with a fork. Total cost per packet, about 10 cents. Total cost to treat your entire kitchen, under $2. My name is Anna Beiler. I am Amish, and I have kept a farmhouse kitchen in Ohio my whole married life. Cockroaches are not new to a house with a stone foundation and a wood floor. The old folks around here dealt with them the same way they dealt with mice and ants, with a cheap bait the pest carried home to its own kind. What I am showing you today is that same idea, and here is exactly why it works. And here is what makes this different from everything else you have tried. The cockroach crawls into the foil packet, eats the bait, and does not die right away. That is on purpose. The boric acid works slowly, over 24 to 72 hours. A fast poison kills the cockroach on the spot, right there on your counter, and the colony behind the wall never knows anything happened. A slow poison gives the cockroach time to walk back to the nest, back into the dark wall cavity behind your refrigerator where the rest of the colony lives. And when it dies there, the other cockroaches eat the body. They eat the contaminated droppings, and the boric acid kills them too. 1 cockroach carrying this bait back to the nest poisons several more that you never saw, never sprayed, never knew were there, including the females, including the eggs. That is the chain reaction. 1 packet of bait placed in the right spot reaches dozens of cockroaches that no spray and no trap could ever touch. That is why spray does not work. Spray hits the surface. The colony is not on the surface. The colony is behind the refrigerator, inside the wall cavity next to the hot water pipe, under the dishwasher motor where it is warm and damp, tucked into the gap between the cabinet and the floor. Dark, warm, wet. That is where cockroaches build a nest. That is where the egg cases sit. A single egg case, no bigger than a grain of rice, holds 30 to 50 cockroaches waiting to hatch. 1 pest control man told me he pulled a refrigerator out and found 10 egg cases behind it. That is 300 to 500 cockroaches in 1 spot behind 1 appliance. No can of spray in the world reaches that, but the bait does, because the cockroach does the work for you. It walks the poison in through the same crack it walked out of. That is the whole idea. You are not chasing them, you are using their own habit against them. Now, let me walk you through the build, because it takes about 5 minutes and you want to get it right. Put on a pair of rubber gloves. Boric acid is mild, but it can dry out and irritate your skin, and you do not want to touch your face while you are working with it. In a small bowl, combine half a cup of white sugar with 2 tablespoons of boric acid powder. Stir gently with a spoon until the two are evenly mixed. The ratio matters. Roughly 3 parts sugar to 1 part boric acid. Sweet enough to pull a cockroach across a dark kitchen, strong enough to kill it once it eats. Take 1 fresh lemon. Grate only the yellow part of the peel, not the white part underneath. You want about 1 tablespoon of finely grated lemon peel. Stir it into the mixture. The lemon does 2 things. It covers the chemical smell of the boric acid so the cockroach does not detect the poison, and there is a natural oil in lemon peel that damages the cockroach on contact. Commercial insect sprays use the same oil as their active ingredient. In the bait, it works as a scent mask and a secondary poison at the same time. Tear off pieces of aluminum foil about 4 inches square. Place about 1 tablespoon of the bait mixture in the center of each piece. Fold the foil around the bait, twist or crimp the edges shut, and form a small ball about the size of a walnut. Then take a fork and poke 5 or 6 small holes through the foil, big enough for a cockroach to reach in, small enough that the bait does not spill out. The holes also let the scent of the sugar and lemon escape into the dark. That is your bait packet. An average kitchen needs 6 to 10 of them. Before I tell you where to put them, I need to give you a safety word, because boric acid is a real pesticide, and it deserves real respect. Keep every bait packet completely out of reach of children and pets. Place them only in hidden locations, behind the stove, under the refrigerator, inside cabinet toe kicks, in dark corners. Never on the counter. Never anywhere a child could pick one up or a dog could chew on it. Boric acid is far less toxic than most commercial pesticides, but a child or a small pet who gets into it could be seriously harmed. Wear gloves when you mix it. Do not breathe the powder. Wash your hands thoroughly after handling. If you have toddlers or curious pets that get into places they should not, this method may not be the right fit for your home. I would rather tell you that plainly than have you worry after the fact. Now, placement. This is where most people go wrong, and it is the difference between a method that works and one that does not. Cockroaches do not eat in the open. They travel the same hidden pathways every night, from the nest to a food source and back. Your bait packets need to sit on those pathways, not in the middle of the kitchen floor. Under the refrigerator, slide a packet as far back as you can reach. Behind the stove, pull it out a few inches and place one against the wall. Inside the toe kick under the base cabinets. In the back corner of the upper kitchen cabinets, especially the ones that hold dry goods. Behind the dishwasher. In the corner of the pantry, against the wall. Under the sink in the back corner. If you can see a gap between the baseboard and the wall, put one there. Do not put them on the countertop. Do not put them on top of the refrigerator. Do not put them anywhere wet. Boric acid washes away with water and stops working. Now you wait. For the first week, you may actually see more cockroaches than before. That is a good sign. It means the bait is drawing them out of their hiding places. They are eating it and carrying it back. By the end of the second week, the number you see at night should drop. By the end of the 4th week, most of the colony should be gone. Keep the packets in place for 2 to 3 months to catch any newly hatched cockroaches from eggs that were laid before the females died. Replace them every 3 to 4 months if the problem comes back, or once a year as prevention in a home that has had cockroaches before. While the bait does the killing, you can help by cutting off what brought them in the first place. Cockroaches need water more than food. A cockroach can live a month without eating, but it will die in a week without water. A leaking pipe under the sink, a dripping faucet, condensation on the cold water line, a wet sponge left on the counter overnight. Fix every leak. Wring out the sponge and stand it up on its end so it dries. Empty the drip tray under the refrigerator. Every wet spot you dry up is one less reason for a cockroach to stay. Seal the cracks along the baseboards with a tube of cork. Get your dry food into jars with tight lids. Wipe down the stovetop and the counter every night before bed, because even a thin film of grease is a meal. A clean, dry kitchen with bait in the hidden places is a kitchen cockroaches cannot survive in. Here is the honest math. An average professional cockroach treatment runs $300 to $600 for the first visit. Follow-up treatments run $100 to $200 every quarter. That is $800 to $1,400 a year. The same protection with this bait costs you about $10 a year in boric acid, lemons, and foil. And your coverage is honestly better, because you can slide bait packets into spots a professional exterminator's spray will never reach. One more thing. If you have done all of this and the cockroaches are still coming after 2 months, you may have a serious infestation in the structure of your home, inside the walls, under the floors. At that point, call a licensed professional. There is no shame in that. But for the routine cockroach problem that most homes deal with, this bait handles it for less than the price of a cup of coffee. Tonight, after dark, go into your kitchen, turn off the light, wait 2 full minutes, then flip it on fast and watch where they run. That tells you exactly where to put your bait packets. And this weekend, pull your refrigerator out from the wall and look behind it with a flashlight. Tell me in the comments what you found back there. I have a feeling some of you are in for a surprise. I read every single one. May God keep your home clean and your family safe. And may the things that crawl in the dark find no welcome under your roof.